Hey, how's it going? Uh, Last video, which is probably 10 seconds ago for this, is probably me at border of North Carolina, the Bly Gap area. I did not film anything after that, so let me explain why I'm in a random rental car in London, Kentucky, I think it's called, north of Knoxville, south of Lexington. So I got to the border, North Carolina, Georgia, and I misjudged how far I would have had to go to get to muskrat shelter. It actually only would have been like 3 miles, albeit very much up. So I got to the border at about 1 o'clock, called some people, let them know I was there, and then made the decision to turn around and book it to Dix Creek Gap to end my Georgia journey and get off the trail. That would make it 9 miles hiking back to Dix Creek Gap, basically over all the terrain I had hiked over the previous day and a half. Not a ton of miles in general, but a ton of miles for me. Without trail legs, full pack, all of that nonsense. So I started out at 1 o'clock. It's pretty good for the first bit, because it's mostly downhill. But I got back to Plum Orchard Shelter, the place I had left that morning, at about 4, meaning I had the remaining 4.5-ish miles to go, and I wanted to get there hopefully by 7 or 7:30. So every uphill was a struggle. As you can imagine, I was already exhausted, encumbered with a whole bunch of extra weight, plus it had been raining, so my pack was soaked. That probably added a few pounds. But I hiked as fast as I could. I had been counting all the uphills, keeping track of them, knowing where I had to go. So I had to go back up A's Knob, all the way back up Buzzard's Knob, but I got to hike down that, which was fantastic, by the way. So much of a long downhill. I got to the final uphill climb before I'd be coming down to Dix Creek Gap, which was Cowart Gap. It's only 300 feet over about a half a mile, which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. But for me, being exhausted at a full pack, it took the better part of an hour for me to get there. But I made it up. I was so happy. I was hiking my way down. I was gonna end up at the last camp, which you can call from, because there's not a lot of good signal in Dix Creek Gap, so I can call for a shuttle. I did that, had one come in. It was gonna get there about 7:30, and it was only about 10 of 7 at the time, so I'm like, great, I'll make it down there early, I'll be able to relax a second. And I'm hiking down, I'm getting really close, and I see in front of me that the trail goes back up, and I'm just staring at it like, no, I've checked the map, there's no more uphills. So I busted the booklet back out, the AWOL's guide, no uphill tick, not at all. It must have been buried where it says the word Hiawassee on it, because I did not see it, and I'm just staring at it like, I know it's not going to be a big uphill, because it doesn't show up on the map, but it was still there. And dang, that was a climb. It was not far. It was not a huge climb, but I was so exhausted. I'd already used my energy to will myself over the Cowart Gap one. But I got up there, exhausted, made it all the way down. My ride actually hadn't gotten there yet. Met a cool dude named Graham who had been biking the mountains, and he's about to go do a really long race. But I caught my shuttle and got back into Hiawassee. Stayed at the same Holiday Inn I'd already stayed at. Then I got a shuttle to Blairsville, got in a rent-a-car, and I'm driving home. So I completed my entire Georgia leg of the Appalachian Trail, but for now, I'm heading home, because when I was back home for a little bit while I was hurt, we decided to buy a house, and did that in a week's time. So I'm gonna get home, I get to close on that, I get to see my cats, and I get to build a new life in a new house. So I'm really excited about that. It was a very good learning experience about me, about what I like to do, about hiking. Related note, for the most part, trail people are amazing. Like, everyone I met was great. All the shuttle drivers were great. Trail towns are great. I stayed in 3, I think. everyone was great. It was fantastic. I got to see a lot of cool things, a lot of great mountains, a lot of great nature. Didn't see any bears. Wasn't out there that long, but didn't see any bears. So hopefully, maybe later this summer, I'll get to head into the Smokies, explore that some more. Maybe next year, do a larger section somewhere else. Maybe do the long trail in the future up in Vermont. Who knows? Something small, something doable. But it was very difficult. It was exhausting. And it was good. So all that aside, peace out.